Hello everyone, I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to the channel. As you see from the thumbnail, I've seen this almost scripted reaction quite a bit, not only just on my own videos, but on other videos or news articles or whatever. Anybody who dares to criticize the Kenobi film, specifically talk about how it's lockstep with Disney's more woke ideologue agenda. There's this message, and it's worded in a number of different ways, but the basic sentiment is, tell me one thing that's woke about that show. Or, people talk about it being woke, but I don't see anybody able to mention one thing that's woke about it. Or, tell me what's woke about it then. No one's telling me what's woke about it. There's a certain emotion behind that kind of comment that I find really amusing. Sad though, because it comes from sort of like a schoolyard bully tactic. I haven't seen that kind of visceral, transparent, psychological underpinning of a comment since I've seen like the Snyder Bros try to defend any of Zack Snyder's superhero movies. It's a bluff, a challenge. It's let me get up in your face and dare you to say one thing bad about this, or one thing that I don't want to hear. Because in that kind of comment, tell me one thing that's woke about that movie or show or whatever. There's the challenge, and it's a dare. It's not a legitimate question. It's not a, hey, a lot of people are talking about what's woke, but I'm honestly I'm just having trouble seeing it. Because somebody show me or tell me what they mean when they say this is woke. It's not that. If it was that comment, it would be worded more something like what I just said. And I know that it's, we're talking about the internet where we just have written words and we don't always have people's inflection of voice and expressions and whatnot. But still, there's only so many ways one can mean, tell me one thing that's woke about that, So it's that challenge. Now it's not coming from any kind of actual question. So it's I dare you to say one thing. And in saying I dare you, it's almost I bet you can't. So their pride is involved in that comment already. There's no scenario in which they would concede to you, okay, that is kind of woke. No, they're putting up their pride, they're putting up their sort of reputation or whatever, on the line with that comment, with that challenge, with that I bet you can't. And if you were to actually say something that, it would, the point is they're going to have to combat anything you say. There's no way to answer that question in which they don't come back with, nuh-uh, that's not woke because blah, blah, blah. They've already had this argument with you, like a number of different ways. They're just dying to finally have it with somebody on this, avenue or whatever. That's the kind of, those are often the kind of debates I just don't engage in. I do not engage in, or about any topic, on my channel, but certainly just across the internet or even in real life. You can sense, you can kind of sniff out those people who are just spoiling for a fight, just ready to, engage in this debate or whatever because they need that sense of self-validation. That's usually an indicator that maybe that thing you need validation over isn't worth having validation over, like the people who are just desperate to try to prove that Zack Snyder portrayed Superman in nothing but a completely Superman-like way. There's nothing un-Superman about the way he did that. Anybody watching those movies with half a brain understands that that's not Superman. No, he wouldn't do that. Same thing with the Kenobi series. So the narrative, the story that they're trying to push with that kind of comment, like everybody's talking about how woke it is, but I don't see anybody naming one thing. Well, they're trying to imply then that, oh, this whole, the Kenobi series was woke thing, that's just a, that's just a little, bandwagon that people got on. No one can actually point out anything woke in it because it's really not, but that's just a little bandwagon that people got on. If you really thought it was just a bandwagon, then you wouldn't be so outraged over it. You wouldn't feel the need to go and combat any YouTube video, news story, tweet, or whatever that dared say that about this show. I say it all the time. I mean, if you have confidence that something is good, then you don't need to go and combat everything that somebody might say about this or that, unless you think that they might be right, or that they can actually affect a change here. I mean, it was obvious even to the reaction, again sticking with the Zack Snyder connection here. It was obvious even when Man of Steel came out, fans were heavily divided, and if that division continued, it could possibly affect how Warner Brothers moved ahead or not, or didn't move ahead with that Snyder's vision of that universe. Now Warner Brothers just buried their head down and decided to bull forward for as long as they could, and then they got tired of losing money. And even the concession of the Snyder Cut, people try and act like, oh, that's the win. It's horrible. What are you talking about? And I think that that's the same kind of insecurity that we're seeing by some of these fans who need to go out and combat everybody who dares talk about the Kenobi series or the Obi Wan Kenobi series. I'll give you an example. And my best friend, Big Al, he co-hosts my book studies with me and whatnot. I love Big Al. I'd take a bullet for him. Don't ask me to justify the man's taste. It shows, but we know that and he likes the Obi Wan Kenobi series. But you know what he did? He made a video about it, saying what he liked about it. He doesn't feel the need to go on my channel or anybody else's channel and say, how dare you say that? He's got his own channel, his own platform. He speaks his mind on it, and that's okay. You know what? And all that time that people waste going to dare anybody to say anything bad or to say that the Obi Wan Kenobi series is woke, he spends actually watching and enjoying the show. That's what you do, I am used to being the only man in any room that I'm ever in who likes the 2013 The Lone Ranger movie. Love that movie. Don't agree with any of the criticisms it gets. And it gets it from all sides. The woke people hate it because you casted Johnny Depp as an American Indian. How dare you? And then the non-woke people, or the anti-woke, whatever you want to call them, people have a problem with it because they think it's another big stupid white hero, like the whole Green Hornet fiasco, Seth Rogen and whatnot. But I'm used to being the only man who likes that movie. Love it. Disagree with all those critiques, but I don't go around, even when it was, a movie that was being talked about a long time ago, 10 years ago now, I don't go around, daring people to say anything bad about it. That's fine. You say all the things you want about it. I'm going to spend that time enjoying it, But that insecurity is something, and I just think it's interesting that we're seeing it, we're seeing that insecurity expressed almost in a single script. Again, that, tell me something that's woke about it. The reason, now, first of all, that's wrong. I've seen a lot of great videos, a lot of places that are talking about all the minuscule problems with the series. One of the reasons, though, that you might not see a point-by-point debate like you want to see is because, first of all, anybody who gives you that is just opening themselves up to you sucking their time away like a vampire and saying, no, because your point there, this, your point there, this. There's no having a logical conversation or even debate about it or whatever, because you've already inextricably linked your identity, your pride to this issue. There's no scenario in which you admit defeat. So that's one reason why you're not going to hear people give you that kind of time and energy. The other thing is, it's just so obvious. Like I've refused to even watch the show. So I obviously can't get into scene by scene debates. Refused to even watch the show for the simple deal breakers. The fact that it's not even really about Obi Wan Kenobi. What arc he does have is breaks the rules on Obi Wan Kenobi, because he's the white hetero man in Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars universe. It can't be all about him. And if it is, what arc he does have is got to point out how he's a sad, broken, he's turned his back on the Jedi ways, because he let his force powers just go away and blah, blah, blah. And who is it about? Well, it's got to be more like Leia, because it's not just about Luke, guys. Come on, Leia. And it's got to be about Reva, who meets all of the intersectional feminist, she's got all the right punches on her victim card there for that. And she's, the hero of it, really. And, well, Kenobi does pull through in the end and blah, blah, blah. There are little justifications they'll give you, but it's just so obvious. It's obvious from the casting and the characters they choose to spotlight, and the continuity that they're willing to break just in order to spotlight these or that characters. I mean, Leia, come on, that little girl Leia is such a Mary Sue in that show, and I didn't even watch the show. I just read the plot synopsis. Yep. No reason why. Well, come on, she's strong in the Force. Yes, so is Luke, but he's just an idiot who gets knocked out. Again, it's just that choice of focus. But if you refuse to see that, then you're going to think circles around that. In fact, I'm sure there are people who will watch this video and the only thing they'll take away from it is wanting to argue with me about it not being woke, or any of those little points I made. They'll latch onto those and say, no, that's not right, because this, again, it's that I need to combat you on this. I need to go out there and have these kinds of debates with people because I'm insecure about the show. Like, the show's there. I mean, for all we know, they'll probably end up doing a season 2. They don't care. Star Wars doesn't care if it gets the acclaim, and it got the numbers from a lot of people hate watching it, as well as the people who just wanted to watch it. What is there to be insecure about, unless deep down that it's the truth? But I see that with a lot of things, with a lot of franchises and whatnot. Oh, and it makes people so angry. How dare you, Professor? How arrogant of you? Blah, blah, blah. You know what? I have my own channel in which I express the view on. I don't go to any other place and just rain on their parade. You came here. You came to watch me. This is your fault. You clicked on the video. You can say unsubscribe or never suggest his videos to me again. You can do any of that. You came here. You have only yourself to blame if you're really mad at what I said, because nobody's forcing you to watch it. And how dare somebody express an opinion that you disagree with on their own channel? It's just bizarre times we live in. And, I do like to call out just the weird psychologies I see in the geek culture from time to time. Anyway, those are my thoughts right now. I'll be back with more later, more book studies and all of that later. But until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the hero stories, real hero stories you love. Thanks for watching.